Hi everyone, welcome to this week's video. This week we're going to show you how to make this operation game. But before we get started, thank you again to those that sent in their pictures or their videos of their projects. If you make this activity or even a past one, send us a picture or a video using that QR code on the front of your kit and we'll feature it in one of our next videos. This week we're going to show you how to make your own DIY operation game. In your kit you'll find a battery clip, a piece of wire, some copper tape, a buzzer, an LED light, and a pair of tweezers.
Other things you'll need for this kit: a cereal box, some tin foil or aluminum foil, tape, scissors, a utility blade or a razor blade. If you're using one of these, a parent needs to be around, and also a 9-volt battery.
You're also going to need some kind of design for your game. You can print out something you find online, or you can draw and design your own. Both of us are using a design today that's just going to use one hole. So I'll have the one in the beehive, and Mike's going to use one in the Lego man today.
So on the 3 components in the kit, we have the LED, we have the buzzer, and we have the battery clip. You'll notice that the buzzer has a positive sign on it, or a plus sign. That's showing that it requires or needs the positive side battery to be connected to it. So the buzzer has a little plus on the side. The LED has a longer lead or wire coming off of it. That's the positive side. And then we also have the battery cable itself, where the red is the positive side. So we'll be referencing or referring to the positive cable a lot. So once you find your cereal box, I'm using this box here because I want to be able to show you guys inside there, and it's a little more difficult when we have the cereal box itself. The first step is to cut a hole where you would want your operation game piece to go into, where you'll be picking out the part. So kind of line up maybe what you have printed, maybe you've designed your own thing, but I'm going to be putting a hole just about here. How about you?
I'm going to cut this out.
Okay, perfect. So what you could do is you could mark your sheet of paper, if you're working this way, with the design to where you want to cut it out, and then that will kind of show us where on our box to cut out. So I'm going to mark on the Lego man here where I'll cut out our square. So we both cut out a hole in our picture, and now I'm just going to line that up on our box. Don't tape it down yet, but I want to know where in our box we have to cut the hole. So I'm just going to mark that with a pencil. And now that we have where that hole will be, cut that out of your box or your cereal box. Now with that hole cut into your cereal box, take a sheet of aluminum foil and rip that off so we can cover the front of your cereal box.
So it's okay if your tin foil is a little bit bigger than the box. It's probably actually good. So go ahead and tape that down just so it doesn't slide around. I'm just going to tape a piece on each side. And then when that's all set, you're going to feel on the tin foil where you cut that hole in your box. And you're just going to poke through the tin foil like that. And then wrap the excess tin foil around the edges of the hole or the opening that you cut. Like that.
Okay, now with the hole cut into the box, tin foil wrapped around that hole, just making sure that the alignment on your page works well. Okay. We are now going to take the negative or the black wire from the battery clip, and we are going to tape it using the copper tape in the kit. We only need a little bit of it, maybe about an inch or so of it, and tear that off. If you need to strip away some of the insulation on the black wire, now's the time to do it. You might need to use like a wire stripper if you have that, or you could use scissors, but this is definitely something for adults to do. And we are just going to make it so that the copper tape and the metal inside the wire, so not just the insulation, but the metal inside the wire touch and are stuck to the tin foil. So I'm just going to do that now. like that, off the top. with the negative wire connected to our piece of tinfoil, now I'm just going to cut a little, like maybe about an inch, 2-inch square out of the top corner of my design, my operation box here. Just make sure that doesn't line up with anything that you want to have in your like drawing or the graphic that you have. So that we're just kind of peeling away though the tinfoil. And then you could only see the cereal box.
So this little square of tinfoil that we cut away, that's where your buzzer and your LED light are going to sit. So if you're using something like a cereal box like I am, you might want to cut off or just cut open the back so that when we're working on the inside it's a little easier. You can even tape this closed when your game is all finished.
So our next step is to install the buzzer. And the buzzer, we want to take notice of where the plus sign is on our buzzer. And we need to connect that to the red wire coming from our battery clip. Same thing here if you need to take off some more of the insulation on the wire, because only the metal part inside the wire is the part that's conducting the electricity. I'm going to poke mine through the cereal box and we're going to work on it from the back side. Kristen's going to do the same thing, and then we'll show you how we'll connect it all up using that copper tape. So we're going to poke the buzzer through our cereal box. You may need to use like scissors, but we just need to get those 2 wires through the box. You'll notice that the long one is the plus side. So keep that in mind where you're plugging that in. I opened up my box here and I'm just bending the wires off to the side. I know which one's the long one. So the plus side of my buzzer is right here. That means this is the negative side. I'm going to insert my LED so that the long wire, or the positive side, is going to be closer to the negative side of the buzzer. So we want the wire going from the red into the positive side, then it comes out the negative side of the buzzer, then it's going into the positive side of the LED, and then out the negative side of the LED. So we're going to stick that in right there. And on the inside you can see that the 2 wires have come through. I'm just going to bend them off to the side. So you can see here where I have the buzzer, the positive and the negative side, then the LED, the positive and the negative side. The LED positive wire is right near the buzzer's negative wire. So let's go ahead and connect the red wire of the battery clip to the positive side of the positive buzzer wire. And I'm just kind of sliding my wire underneath how I bent the buzzer wire over on the inside of my cereal box. And then we're going to connect it using some of that tape, that copper tape. You might find that you can wrap that red wire around the prong, the positive or the plus side prong of the buzzer, and then we're going to use that tape and just tape that down inside the box, making sure that the tape doesn't touch any other wire. Our next step is to now tape the negative side of the buzzer and the positive side of the LED together, making sure that you don't touch the tape to any other wire. So now you should have left the long wire and the tweezers. The long wire, one side, doesn't matter which one, will be connected to the negative side of the LED, and that'll be inside the box. The wire will then have to come out of the front of the box or out of the top of the cereal box, and then that will be connected to our tweezers, and that's how we'll pick up the pieces inside our operation game. Now that all the wires connections are taped up, I'm just going to punch a little hole using the tweezers here to go into the outside of the box. And now you can use normal tape and cover up all the wires so that they don't rip off. The copper tape is the tape that makes all the connections for us. So normal tape won't do that, and it doesn't matter if it crosses over some of the copper tape. So our next step on here is to take the tweezers that you have and wrap the wire around the top of the tweezers. So I have mine kind of inside the tweezers where they kind of connect together. Wrap that around, making sure that the metal of the wire is touching the metal of the tweezers. Once you have the wire wrapped around, tape that in place. So that'll kind of create part of a handle for you. Now is a good time to test out to make sure that the wiring is all connected. If you touch anywhere on the tinfoil, it should buzz and light up. If not, this is where you should go ahead and check and make sure and reconnect any wires that may have come loose. Use tinfoil, use the copper tape. You want to make sure that those wires are connected in the order here on this picture. So since ours both work, we're just going to tape down our graphic on top. Just looping some tape on our pictures. And just make sure you line up that hole in both the picture and your box. And then we can bring yours over. There you go. Okay. And now you could give them a try. So since mine is a Lego character, I'm going to put a piece of Lego in mine so that is what I'm trying to pick up. Kristen, what are you going to put in yours?
It's a beehive, so probably a live bee. I'm going to draw a little bee on a piece of paper and put it inside the box. Try to get it out with the tweezers.
Cool.